Here is a live look at Martinsville Road off of Piscachurch Road, where police say two cars crashed into each other just before 2 p.m.
We don't know the extent of all of the injuries, but we do know one person has died and others have serious injuries. Expect this road to be closed if you're driving in the area. We will let you know when it reopens.
Now to developing news on the final report from the Capitol Riot House Committee. After nearly a year-and-a-half-long investigation, lawmakers are ready to move forward with action.
House members are pushing for the Department of Justice to charge former President Trump for his role in the January 6th attack.
January 6 committee members say they believe former President Donald Trump is criminally culpable for the assault on the U.S. Capitol in 2021.
Evidence we've gathered points to further action beyond the power of this committee or the Congress to help ensure accountability under law. Accountability that can only be found in the criminal justice system.
The committee recommending the DOJ charge Trump with obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the government, conspiracy to make a false statement, and inciting, aiding, or assisting an insurrection.
Depending on evidence developed by the Department of Justice, the president's actions could certainly trigger other criminal violations. Nor are President Trump and his immediate team the only people identified for referrals in our report. We are now referring 4 members of Congress for appropriate sanction by the House Ethics Committee for failure to comply with lawful subpoenas.
Trump slammed Schiff and the committee on social media and sent a message to his supporters saying Republicans and patriots all over the land must stand strong and united against the thugs and scoundrels of the Unselect Committee.
The committee has conducted more than 1,000 interviews and depositions as part of its investigation. Now, the final report, along with transcripts of the hearings, will be released on Wednesday, but the summary of that report will be released today.
Most Republicans are standing by the former president, calling the House Select Committee's work partisan. They're also preparing a more than 100-page rebuttal to the committee's report. The former president is already facing potential legal problems for his handling of classified material. At his Florida home, a special prosecutor has been tabbed to oversee that investigation. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Former President Trump has already declared he is running for the White House again in the 2024 presidential election. It's not clear whether the DOJ will actually file any charges.
Chilly start to our morning today, wasn't it? Boy, it was a cold one with temperatures in the low 20s. At one point, we went down to about 22 degrees this morning. Yeah, we'll see a little bit more of that tomorrow, but not quite as cold. You look at temperatures now, though, in the mid-40s. That's what we were calling for last night as well. So 48 in Raleigh, 46 for the Triad. Let's get to our no-hype headlines for Christmas week. Very cold air is going to move in by Christmas Eve. So by Saturday and into Sunday, Christmas Day, we're going to see lows in the teens. Some of the coldest air, not some, it is the coldest air of the season, coming in just in time for the holiday. So rain is likely to if we back up our timeline and look at Thursday into Friday, that's probably Thursday evening, overnight into Friday morning, and about an inch of rain across the area. But on Friday, on the backside of that front, winds really start to pick up, 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gust. And also, of course, with that, you have to plan for that wet travel on Thursday. Now, snow is not likely, but with that being said, let's just say that Friday morning, at the very end of it, you might see a quick little burst of snow before it ends with absolutely no accumulation. But that's worst case scenario. We're actually just calling for maybe a morning shower on Friday. Satellite and radar combination, if we go out to a wider shot here, we'll show you a lot of that moisture gradually gets here with that low pressure center moving on to the east. And as it treks that way, don't be surprised if maybe down towards Sanford in that area you had a sprinkle tomorrow night. But I think for everybody else, we're just looking at a cloudy mid-40s day for your Tuesday, and then that reinforcing blast of cold air moves through as we head into Wednesday. Again, most of the rain should be south of us and east of us as well. If you look at our long-range forecast here, 7-day outlook, we'll go with mid-40s, in fact, even 44 all the way through Friday. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The difference, it's a cold rain on Thursday, and then that Friday morning shower, high temperature. We'll hit that high, by the way, probably early in the day, and then temperatures will drop quickly because that low that night is 18. Saturday for Christmas Eve, the high 30 for Santa's ride there as we head into Sunday, overnight, Saturday night. That's a 16-degree temperature, and then Sunday, excuse me, that graphic needs corrected. That's just mostly sunny on Sunday with a high temperature of 32 degrees.
As the cooler temperatures set in, we want you to be weather aware. Download our free WFMY News 2 app so you can know just how cold it will be before you step out the door.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, the Greensboro Fire Department did some real-life training today. Recruits ran drills at a live fire on High Drive. They say the goal is to respond to a fire within seconds of getting the call.
Because seconds count. Fire grows at a certain rate, so everything we do, we're counting seconds as we respond. So our training is engineered to make us faster so we can be there for the citizens when they need us.
Recruits had to undergo 6 months of education before using their skills in live training.
Right now, the city of Greensboro is under a white flag response. In the winter, a white flag is declared on nights the temperature or wind chill is expected to stay below the mid-20s. The Interactive Resource Center on East Washington Street is now open for anyone in need of a warm place. It will stay open as long as conditions persist. Right now, the city of Greensboro is installing new housing options for people in need. Crews dropped off 30 pallet shelters today. They will provide 60 people a warm place to stay.
And this is one part of the program. It's one of the things I really like about Greensboro and how it does its best to look after its citizens and how it tries to meet the needs of the community. And you know, if it gives a person a warm place to stay during winter, that's exactly what the purpose of it is.
The temporary homes will sit in Pomona Park ball field. The city council is also looking to set up a safe parking lot for people who sleep in their cars.
Less than a week before Christmas, an e-commerce company is revealing some of the worst gifts. A survey of more than 6,000 people found discontinued, defective items were least popular, followed closely by fruitcake and weight loss items like workout equipment. Now, this is really interesting. Nearly 80% of people believe they're good at showing fake enthusiasm when getting gifts that they don't like. I think I'm pretty good at that myself.
Me too. You just shouldn't have.
Right.
Thank you so much.
You should have, right? I can't even think of a really bad gift that I've received.
I have gotten some questionable gifts in the past. There was one time when I was in the 7th grade, my dad got my sister and I a pair of leather combat boots. He was so happy about it. He said, "These are real genuine leather." And we were just like, "Oh, thank you." And you know, you wear them because you don't want to hurt their feelings. Right. But now that we're adults, we're like, "What were you thinking?" But he was just so proud of it because they were real leather.
Yeah, that's funny. I think probably for most kids, or at least maybe I'll just speak for myself, getting clothes as a kid, it was definitely like, cool.
Next.
Thanks for the jeans. You know, and like my sister, I remember she would cry when she would get like corduroy pants.
Aww.
She hated those kind of pants. But coming up here in just a little bit, a couple of minutes here, we're going to be talking with Blanca Cobb about how to have awkward family conversations, or how to navigate awkward
Yeah, that's a good one because they definitely will come up during the holiday season.
And say something crazy. All right, time is running out to send presents if you want them to arrive on time. Here's a look at the deadlines from the 3 biggest companies. Keep in mind, another cutoff is tomorrow. We'll be right back.
All right, I am talking about handling people who criticize you.
Get ready for those awkward family conversations. Yes, no doubt over the holidays, you'll have at least one conversation that you can't avoid or can't seem to get out of.
I'm already thinking about some of them. You know, sometimes people may criticize you to talk about your clothes, career choices, or maybe your friends. Dealing with those moments, it can be challenging. So psychology expert Blanca Cobb is here to help you sort them out. Blanca, why are some people so critical of others?
There are a lot of different reasons why people can be critical of others, and one is that's all they know because they've only been criticized, or maybe they have such low self-concept about themselves that it helps them feel better to be critical of other people because they feel better than the other person, like they are superior in some way. But that normally happens on a subconscious level a lot of the times. And another thing is it's about perfectionism. Some people are very critical because they feel like that level, that criteria level, is perfectionism in order for you to be successful or to be accepted.
I can do my best to deal with criticism and not make it, not allowed to let my blood boil over it, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. How do we deal with the way that criticism makes us feel?
It is so difficult because sometimes it feels like it's a personal attack about your decisions or who you are, or how you act, or how you dress. But you really have to consider the source. And the reason you want to do this because it gives you some emotional distance, psychological distance from that person. If you look at it from their point of view, doesn't mean you're agreeing by any means, but if you can see why they're being a negative, if you think like, oh, they're having a bad day or they haven't succeeded in their own life, or maybe they don't have as many friends or don't have that quality of friendship, when you can look at it from their perspective of how they might be coming to you very critical, it helps you increase some empathy and compassion for that person.
I know sometimes I'm quick to defend myself if someone tries to criticize me, and that might not always be the best thing to do. So what should you do if someone is criticizing you? Should you consider saying anything?
Yes, you can consider. Sometimes you can just let it go, right? But other times you might say, you know what, this is really bugging me, or I'm not understanding why they're being critical of me. Instead, ask questions. And the reason you want to ask questions is to understand, like, are you interpreting what they're saying correctly? And what is their perspective? And where are they coming up with this? When you understand their point of view, it makes it easier for you to state the facts. And after you just state the facts, you keep the emotion out of it, then you want to move on. This isn't a situation where you want to justify your position or give them 1,000,001 examples. You don't want to argue about it. You just correct the facts and you just move on.
I think a lot of people would say, well, you exchange one low blow with another low blow and you return some criticism, but I imagine you're probably suggesting against that.
Absolutely, because what you're doing is you're taking a match and you just keep striking it every time you have that low blow against another blow, and guess what's going to happen eventually to that match? It's going to catch fire, and then it becomes an argument, and then it can become very disruptive, and then it really can put some space and separation and sometimes ruin a family gathering.
I always try to tell myself if people are criticizing me, it's not about me, it's about them.
Then they're deflecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, completely agree on that one.
All right, Blanca, thanks so much. And you can continue the conversation with her right on her Facebook page. Just search Blanca Cobb, Body Language Expert. We'll be right back.
So I know a lot of folks were looking at their apps over the last few days, and you see a little snow icon possibility on either Thursday or Friday for some of you, but just let me tell you that chance has dropped way down now. It's more likely rain. But we'll cut to the chase of the Christmas forecast, which a lot of folks want to know, and I can tell you it will be very cold and probably a little bit breezy since a front will have just moved through. It'll be kind of a windy Christmas Eve. Look at the highs and lows of 30 and 18. So that 18 will be Christmas Eve morning, so that will be Saturday morning, and then a high of only 30, drops down to 16 for Christmas Eve night, and then during the day on Christmas Day, still cold and breezy with that high temperature of 32. Now, let's go ahead and show you. We'll go out to a wide shot here. You see all the moisture down to the south. That low pressure will remain to our south. There's a chance that maybe around, say, Sanford area, Lee County, possibly southern tip of maybe Montgomery County could get a sprinkle. If you look at this and look at the timestamp, top right corner, now you see us going through, this is Tuesday afternoon. Here's that low pressure and just a slight chance of a little precipitation in the southern Piedmont. But honestly, I think the majority of this will stay to the south and will be fairly dry as we head into Wednesday. Some of the models were in conflict with each other about that for a while, but I think we're going to be fairly dry here. Again, that larger question is going to be Thursday night into Friday. For now, I'm saying a cold rain, and that'll be Thursday evening, overnight into Friday morning. We do have that very slight chance of maybe as it ends and that cold air tries to wrap around and catch back up with that moisture, you might see a little burst of snow at the end, but no accumulation expected, and I honestly don't think we'll see that, but let's say about a 10% chance of that happening. But we'll watch. Something fun to see, even if there's no accumulation with that. So tonight, it's going to be cold again, not as cold as this morning, but 29 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. And look for tomorrow. I think the high temperature only gets up to about 44. We'll see the clouds build in. Winds tomorrow out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. So we'll hold at that 44, right? That'll be for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so we're pretty consistent there. That rain chance, though, that does come in that Thursday evening. That's a 60% chance then, with a 30% left over Friday morning. Again, we don't expect much in the way of snow with that, but if you were to see an isolated snow shower at the very end and then no accumulation, that just don't be surprised, but nothing to worry about. 44 for that high on Friday. Boy, then does it get cold. The backside of that system that brings us rain for Thursday night and Friday, that cools us down. We've got 30 on Christmas Eve during the day with overnight lows between 16 and 18. That's for both Friday night and Saturday night. And then a cold Christmas Day too. If any of the kids get bikes out there, you're going to have to bundle up. It will be sunny though, sunny and 32. And then by Monday, we're looking at a morning temperature of 18 degrees, 38 for the high, partly cloudy skies to start the next week.
Have you or could you run a marathon?
I don't think I've ran one before. I've definitely done a 5K. I had to think about it.
Right. I could not. I would not, and I could not. I've never even done a 5K, but I would.
Really?
But I would. I mean, I could do it.
Maybe if I could walk the marathon.
Yes, it might take a little longer. So it's one thing to run a race when the weather is nice, but imagine running a marathon in December in Antarctica. It's a thing, and a man and woman finished the race in less than 4 hours.
60 runners from 20 different countries dashing through the snow in the Antarctic Ice Marathon. It was the 17th run of what organizers call the southernmost marathon on Earth. Competitors battle freezing temperatures and at times a very slippery slope across the Union Glacier. But one run this year was especially memorable.
I've never seen anything like it. To be able to run that fast in these kind of conditions.
Ireland's Sean Tobin won this year's event, running the 26.2 miles in 2 hours and 53 minutes, and that's with one spill in the snow.
You just sink. It's like, I don't know, it's like running in a real deep muddy cross-country race, and even one turn I took, I just went completely legless and hit the ground.
When you hit the surface, your foot's going every direction, and to run a sub-3-hour marathon, it's just incredible.
Incredible and emotional for Tobin.
Get this at the end of it all.
But likely unforgettable too.
Why?
Some people
My
are
biggest
wild.
question is why?
That's
Why
just
do that to yourself?
Oh, wow.
That's just a survival. It's almost like, can I get through this?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
So the top 3 runners in the women's side of the race were all American. So
Yeah, nice.
Props to them.
congratulations to them. I would imagine that the weather would help you a little bit in that, you know, like when a lot of people run marathons in the summertime when it's just like
Yeah, that's
brutally
just
hot.
as bad, isn't
So
it?
I mean, I can't imagine you overheat while you're running this one.
But sometimes it gets so cold that you feel like you're burning.
So
like the ice
the
against
weather,
your face.
yes. So I was going to say, when you sweat and it evaporates, that's a scientific, it's a cooling process. And so that's why we sweat in the summer, right? And it cools us off as it evaporates. But it's just the opposite for that. That would make it even colder for your body. The sweat would freeze. And I don't know how they do it.
I think it is a survival thing, like you said, like
it
just
is.
competing with yourself to see, let's see if we can do this, if we can run all these miles in freezing temperatures.
I can't do that. If it was 70 and sunny with a light breeze, I couldn't do a marathon.
Can you like take a flight to Antarctica? Like, is that
Yeah,
something you can even do?
I think you
Are there
can.
commercial
It's a charter.
flights?
Yeah,
what
go
is
ice
that? That's a
fishing
good
or
question.
something.
I'll look it up. We'll look it up and we'll talk about it on the Facebook. We'll be right back.
Hello. Me, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here, not alongside, in the other part of the building.
Virtually
Hey, Eric.
alongside.
With Chad, Silver, and Lauren Colwood. Hi, guys.
Hey, thanks for watching us on News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and we're also on the WFMY News 2 app.
Coming up this half hour, it's a story you don't want to miss. A triad church fed first responders today. It's just a really cute story.
Beautiful. Love it.
All right, Eric, we got to talk about the weather. That's what everybody's talking about.
Yeah, you know, concerns with this, everyone was looking at Thursday and Friday, but I think we're going to be in really good shape now. We're just talking about rain at this point. If you were to see a little bit of snow at the end of it, maybe mixed in with the rain for a half second, I mean, that's probably worst case scenario with absolutely no accumulation. So let's put that to rest right out of the gate, so everybody, nothing to worry about. Current temperatures, though, it's not too bad. It's chilly, right? 46 in Greensboro, 47 Burlington. High points at 46, Lexington, Asheboro, same reading. Winston-Salem, 47. You have to go up to Galax, Virginia to see those 30s. That's upper 30s there, 37 there. And in Boone, where it's beautiful all the time, isn't it? 38 degrees there in Boone. All right, clouds will start to build in ahead of this next system where most of the rain stays to our south, but you can see some of the cloud cover already overspreading the area, and we'll stay mostly cloudy, we think, overnight tonight and tomorrow. That'll help keep lows a little bit warmer than last night, but still it's really cold. Our low tonight, 29 degrees. High pressure moves out of the way, opens the door for that low pressure to our south, so cloudy still on your Tuesday. There's a slight chance Tuesday night, maybe overnight, maybe a sprinkle or something around, say, Lee County or Moore County, that neck of the woods, so maybe around Carthage or Troy. But honestly, I don't think we'll see a whole lot. We should stay fairly dry. Wednesday, we'll get a break in the clouds, but then it's that Thursday that we've been talking about for a while that we'll watch. That'll be a rainy Thursday and then kind of breezy, too, as we head into your Friday and the rain clears out. So I'm going to put that 20% chance in there on Tuesday, but that's just for the extreme southern parts of the Piedmont, and honestly, I don't think that'll amount to anything. 44 degrees, cloudy for the most part, and we keep that through Friday. Thursday's a cold, rainy day with 60% chance of rain, then a 30% Friday morning, and Christmas, the highs only around the freezing mark.
We will be here Christmas Day, we will be here through the night, and we will always show up for our folks.
The Interactive Resource Center on East Washington Street is now open for anyone in need of a warm place. In the winter, white flag is declared on nights the temperature or wind chill is expected to stay below the mid-20s. The IRC will stay open as long as cold conditions persist. Cold air is setting in for the week, and it's important to make sure your home is ready. Here's a look at what experts say you should definitely not do and should do during the winter.
If you wait till the last minute, there's things you're going to forget and you're going to scramble around and it's going to be kind of too late.
Thomas Carter with Precision Heating and Air says you don't want to be that person.
Go disconnect the hoses. If you leave them hooked up, that traps water in there and that'll cause that to freeze right off the bat.
Styrofoam faucet covers could be a big help, he says. You can get them at a hardware store for as little as $4. Carter also says it's helpful to know where your water shutoff valves are and how to use them.
If you have a frozen pipe and suddenly the temperature's warm back up and it ruptures, you need to know how to turn that off.
Think of it as preventative maintenance. He says that's the difference between a small repair bill and a huge remodel. As far as your outdoor pipes, insulation is key.
Insulation just holds heat. And that's all it does. It doesn't generate heat. If it's in a crawl space, that may hold a little bit of residual heat inside the pipe.
As we approach those cooler temps, for those trying to save money, you might think to switch your heat to off. Carter says not a good idea. Leave it on to protect things like the pipes in your kitchen and bathroom.
Even if you leave it set at like 65 or 60, it's still better than not having any heat on at all.
Keep the cabinets around your sinks open too. The heat could give your pipes an extra layer of protection. Finally, leaving your faucets dripping. We've all heard it, but is it a good idea?
Dripping is not the answer. You've got to leave the faucet running. A little stream, probably about the size of the end of a ballpoint pen.
Now take a look at your screen. You'll see the number at the bottom for the North Carolina Weatherization Assistance Program. This program helps people with low income save energy and reduce their utility bills. Just call that number on your screen to find out how to apply. You will need proof of income, a pay stub, and a Social Security check from the last year will do. As the colder temperatures set in, we want to make sure you are weather aware. Download our free WFMY News 2 app so you know just how cold it will be before you step out the door.
All right, how does your kid rate? Below average, average, above average? Hey, before you answer this question and give your kid a rating, here's the situation we're talking about. According to Consumer Reports health experts, the average kid gets 8 to 10 colds a year. And this year, a lot of folks are adding in COVID, flu, RSV. There are usually two main questions when your kids are sick, right? The first one is, hey, what can I do to make them feel better? And then the second one is, when should we be seeing the doctor? So let's tackle how to make them feel better first and foremost.
Kids generally just need time to get better. So let your child rest, watch some movies, and very importantly, keep them hydrated.
That's right. Screen time rules do not apply when kids are sick, for sure. And the hydration is key, they say. Experts say use whatever you can. This includes ice pops or honey mixed with some warm apple juice for some of the older kids. Steam up the bathroom to help break up that mucus. And then there's the meds. Check with your doctor to give children's ibuprofen or acetaminophen. But when it comes to cough meds, they say it usually does not work well for them, and it can even be dangerous. All right, sneezy coffee. If your kids have a fever of 105 degrees and showing signs of dehydration or having trouble breathing, you just take them right to the ER. I mean, it's not even a question. And they say any fever in newborns under 2 months is also an emergency. So we hate to have the kids sick.
And it's true that the cough medicine, in my opinion, never works.
Uh-huh.
They almost just have to get through it, and a little honey sometimes helps late at night before you go to bed. But we've tried cough medicines before, and I don't think they work for kids.
And it's interesting because, like, we're adults and we're like, we take cough medicine.
Yeah.
They're
Works
just
for
littler
us.
people, right? But that's not how that works. And of course, if your child has any trouble breathing, you need to call the doctor right away. That RSV thing is nothing to mess around with.
I was shocked by the 8 to 10 colds per year.
Yes.
That sounds pretty high. I don't remember getting sick that often when I was younger.
I was shocked at that too. I don't think my kids get
Maybe 1 or 2 bad colds a year.
Yeah, I would say maybe 3 at the most, but yeah, that's not the case. Also, I think a lot of people, especially new parents, they panic when they see their kid has a 104-degree temperature. That's common in little kids. That's normal. That's okay. It's 105 or higher when doctors say give us a call. So,
Yeah,
then if we had that, we'd be in the hospital.
Oh my gosh,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, they just run higher. So this is such a tough time of year too, because you want everyone to be together. But if you're sick or if your kid is sick, you just kind of have to like stay home.
Yeah, just wait it out.
And you got 5 days before Christmas.
The right thing to do for everybody.
All right, we're hoping for the gift of good health this holiday season for you.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, health leaders are reevaluating our nation's approach to COVID-19. The FDA is planning a meeting of outside experts next month. They'll discuss whether initial doses of the vaccine should be updated to fight the newest variants. They'll also decide whether the timing or composition of booster doses need to be adjusted. As we get deeper into cold and flu season, you might find it harder to find your go-to name brand cold medicine or cough drops. Health experts recommend looking at active ingredients to make sure you're treating the correct symptoms. When in doubt, it's best to ask your pharmacist or doctor. The city of Greensboro is installing new housing for people who are homeless. 30 pallet shelters arrived today at the Pomona Park ball field. They'll provide 60 people a warm place to stay and could be ready by Christmas. City Council is also looking to set up a safe parking lot there for people who sleep in their cars. A House committee is now pushing the DOJ to charge former President Trump for his role in the January 6th attack. Lawmakers say he and his allies launched a pressure campaign to try to overturn the 2020 election. The charges include conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and obstruction of an official proceeding of Congress. It's not clear whether the DOJ will actually file any charges. We'll be right back. One of the best things that occur this time of year is the effort to help neighbors. Calvary Church in McLeansville served up hot meals this morning for first responders.
The event used to be in person, but COVID made it a mobile service. The church says it served up about 200 dishes today.
This is a way that we can serve those who serve our community, and so local first responders, the 911 call center, fire department, local sheriff's department, we cook them a chicken meal and take it to the stations for them. We had members get here early this morning, crank up the grills, threw the chicken on, seasoned it. We had another cook team in the kitchen. They were responsible for the sides. We did mac and cheese, green beans, a roll. Once the chicken's done, we throw it into the to-go boxes, and each order has a different number for the stations that we're taking them to.
You need us to come back and do another one?
I think we're good. We're good. Okay. Then we have our members that deliver those to all the different first responder stations. Good, man. We used to have all the teams come in and we would feed them here in the church. A lot of times first responders would have to go on a call when they came here. And so COVID made us deliver it to the stations rather than having them here, and we found that worked better. Taking them to where they are, so if they are on a call, they'll have the lunch when they get back from the call. Taking it to them, they know that the community loves them, that the work that they do is appreciated, and so I think it's something that a hot meal is good for them, especially during this season. This is our opportunity to serve together, love on our community well, and it's always a joy to do it, so we love doing it. Thank you all, Danae. Thank you.
Wow.
It looked really good.
It really did, and the grills were huge.
So we were all looking
Never
at that going,
seen one that big before.
The church has a restaurant grade grill.
Yeah,
that was
that's
nice.
great. And I mean, this story just warms my
Yeah.
heart. I mean, especially this time of year, helping your neighbors. First responders obviously are at the top of the list of people, who we show our gratitude. And so it's really great to see.
Yeah, they spend time away from their family, especially on the holidays a lot of times, to make sure that we're safe. So I think this is a great gesture saying thank you.
And I got to be honest, that meal looked pretty good.
It really did. What did I say during the? I said, let me slide through.
She said, let me slide through that line. That's really nice.
They had you at mac and cheese,
They
right?
did.
Yes.
They had me when I saw the mac and cheese. I said, yeah, they're getting treated nice today.
And that plate with our bowl was as big as
My
our table.
goodness.
Awesome. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Well, temperatures today, for the most part, now this morning, very, very cold. Those overnight lows were in the low 20s. We're not used to that. We will see actually temperatures even colder as we head into this weekend. So your Christmas Eve that morning, so the morning of Saturday, and then also Christmas Day that morning, we're looking at temperatures maybe between 15 to 18 degrees. Yeah, it's going to be really cold. Coldest day of the season coming in just in time for the holiday. Not what we're seeing right now, though. It's fairly comfortable. 45 for High Point. Winston-Salem at 47. Mount Airy 42. Notice in the mountains, you have to go to the higher elevations. Boone at 38. Galax, Virginia at 37 to see 30s. But everybody else pretty much mid to upper 40s for high temperatures. Now, with clouds building in tonight, those temperatures, even though we still drop down to the 20s, just barely, it won't be as cold as this morning just because of the cloud cover helps to hold in some of the heat that the earth absorbs from the sun during the day. So when it releases and radiates out from the earth, that blanket of clouds kind of holds it in and tries to keep temperatures warmer. But remember, 29 degrees tonight. Either way you slice it, that's still pretty cold. You can see the clouds building in here on our satellite and radar combination. Now pretty much just now getting to mostly cloudy skies across the triad. We go to a wider shot. The majority of the rain, and I think with that low that we see here, will probably remain to the south of us, okay? So you can see even though we get the cloud cover, I think the majority of that rain stays to our south. But let's look ahead though, okay? So this first little system skirts by to the south, but that's Thursday. You noticed we saw a decent amount of rain probably Thursday evening and I think overnight Thursday night into Friday morning. Here's the question. As this center of low pressure leaves and we got that rain, can this next system to the north that pulls down some cooler air, will that cold air be able to catch up to that moisture and change it over to snow? So this is looking at Friday morning at 9 a.m. I think in the higher elevations, and we're talking technically out of the viewing area, more farther to the west, there is that possibility. For us, I think worst case scenario, and of course it changes every day, we'll watch these model runs, but I think as that cold air catches up, you may end up with just a little burst of snow at the end of the rain altogether, and then it's out of here. And honestly, if I had to guess, I would say that's probably more along the lines of maybe a 15 to 10% chance or even less. So for now, we're just going to call for a rainy and still cold Thursday. And then as we head into Friday morning, it'll be windy on the backside of that front. Again, a morning shower on Friday. So don't hold your breath on that one. So just kind of to recap things here, winds fairly calm tonight. You may see them out of the east a little bit on the light side, but for the most part calm. There's that low of 29. Clouds build in, so mostly cloudy heading into the night tonight and pretty much all day tomorrow and really for the next several days too. So let's go with lots of clouds tomorrow. Winds out of the east 5 to 10. We really don't get windy until Friday. We've got to get that frontal boundary through here Thursday night and into Friday morning. That's when things change. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. With that first day of winter coming up in the middle of the week, we'll see highs around 44 degrees, and we lock that in for 3 or 4 days in a row as we see the rain chances start to slip in by Thursday and Friday. So let's go with a 60% chance on Thursday. It's a 30% for Friday morning. Then that cold air comes in back behind it. 16 to 18 for overnight lows Saturday, Sunday. Sunshine for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with highs only between 30 and 32.
2022 is coming to a close, and boy, has it been a wild year for the entertainment industry, from a high-profile court trial to a slap scene around the world. Here's a look back at the biggest highs and lows in Hollywood.
Actor Will Smith is expelled from the Motion Picture Academy for 10 years after he slapped Chris Rock during the Oscars. The attack came after Rock made a joke about Smith's wife. Minutes later, Smith won the Oscar for Best Actor. Streaming services ruled the Oscars. Apple TV's Coda was named Best Picture. Jane Campion won Best Director for Netflix's The Power of the Dog. At the Emmys, HBO's The White Lotus won 10 awards. In Los Angeles, the Super Bowl halftime show paid homage to hip-hop and rap for the first time, led by hometown entertainers Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Long-running daytime talk shows Ellen and Wendy aired their final episodes in 2022. Ellen DeGeneres said her show no longer challenged her, and Wendy Williams' show was canceled after the host encountered health issues. Actor Bruce Willis retired after he was diagnosed with aphasia, a neurological condition that affects speech. Amy Schneider won Jeopardy's Tournament of Champions after a 40-game winning streak during the regular season. She became the most successful female and trans contestant, winning $1.6 million. Former married actors Johnny Depp and Amber Heard sued each other for defamation in a Virginia court. Both also accused the other of abuse. After a weeks-long trial, Depp prevailed, winning $15 million in damages. Top Gun Maverick made $1.4 billion worldwide, making it the highest-grossing film of the year. Jon Batiste won 5 Grammys, and Olivia Rodrigo was named Best New Artist when the Grammy Awards show originated from Las Vegas for the first time.
I have this thing where I get older, but just never wiser.
Taylor Swift made history by claiming all top 10 spots in the Billboard Top 100 list. Swift's single, Anti-Hero, led the string of hits from her October 2022 album, Midnights. And fans mourn the loss of some beloved celebrities in 2022. Country superstar Naomi Judd died of suicide just a day before she was to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame with her daughter Winona. The two were also scheduled to launch a farewell tour. Bob Saget was found dead in an Orlando, Florida hotel room after performing a show. The medical examiner said the 65-year-old comedian died of blunt head trauma, but no foul play was involved. The Foo Fighters' Taylor Hawkins died in Bogota, Colombia. No cause of death was released.
You think of yourself as a colored man. I think of myself as a man.
And Sir Sidney Poitier, a film icon and the first black actor to win an Academy Award, died at the age of 94.
Boy,
Wow.
it's crazy to look back on the last year and just see all the things that happened.
I remember we did a story recently about Google searches, and that whole Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing was way up there with, of celebrity names that were searched over the year, this year, and that was pretty, they got juicy stuff there for a while, got big headlines.
And the Will Smith,
Yes.
Chris
Rock slap.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about that. Was flooding the timelines. All the memes were out there, and people are still talking about it.
Yeah. Are you all excited for a new year?
I am.
Yeah, I always like it. It just seems like a fresh start, even though I know it's just another day that we've called January 1.
Right.
But I always, psychologically, I feel like it's a fresh start.
Same. I always make certain goals or certain promises to myself, and I know you can start now, but when you have that new year, it really is like you're turning a new chapter.
We got a Peloton bike.
We'll so you're trying
we'll see how that goes.
You got fitness goals for the new year.
We have the bike. That's step one.
Now you're gonna have to start sending Lauren and I texts every
Yes,
day of
proof.
you on that Peloton bike. Otherwise, we're going to text you. How's the ride today?
Yeah.
Right.
Did you go 5 miles?
I'll send back a sleeping emoji.
Do you set New Year's resolutions?
I do not.
I do. I actually made a vision board last year. It just sets as a good reminder. I'm not going to say that I meet them every time, and halfway through the year you do fall off. But when you look back at the board, it's like, I need to get back to this. It's just a good way to recenter yourself.
All right. I try to set something manageable, like just something small. Because
like wake up and go to work.
Like wake up, go to work, put a smile on my face, and be happy.
That's
about my
perfect.
life.
Drink more water.
Drink more.
That is something
That's a
for
good
me
one.
and Lauren.
All right, time is running out to send presents. If you haven't already, this is a late reminder. You need to be sending them out now. Some of these deadlines have actually already passed. We'll be right back.
What, the little thing? Hey, buddy, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. My computer's not firing up. Where do you have me first there?
All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Looking at camera 11 for this show.
Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination. I feel like I'm too far away from.
I think that's me. Hello, hello. Can you see this? Am I gonna need to move that all the way down? Can you see the? So this has been very popular. Right now, though, it only touches 1098. We're here in High Point, talking about the social district.
One of the best parts about the holidays are the traditions. In my family, they all have a special place in my heart because each one reminds me of a relative who started it. Some of these people I never even got to meet, but I feel connected to them because we do this stuff every year. Instead of having mashed potatoes, we have mashed rutabagas because my great-grandmother, who had a Swedish heritage where they're more popular. We eat pimento cheese stuffed into celery because that was my great-grandfather's favorite. My mom is all about her secret cheesecake recipe. And before we open gifts on Christmas Eve, my grandmother has us read the Christmas story. It reminds us all what the holiday is really about. Even after all of our loved ones are gone, traditions keep their spirit a big part of our family. That's why I'm adding a new tradition to this list. This year, we lost my dad, my grandfather, and my fiance's mom. From now on, every time we lose a family member, I'm putting another red cardinal in our tree. They might not be with us, but they will always be a big part of our celebration. That's my 2 cents. WFMY News 2 at 5 is next.
Like all capital letters, it's cold. Tonight's low is forecasted to go below freezing.
Our chief meteorologist, Tim Buckley, has crunched the numbers and says it's expected to be the 4th coldest Christmas in history, with a look at your week heading into the holiday weekend and a look at just how cold it will get. We do have WFMY News 2 meteorologist Eric Chilton with us now.
Yeah, it is going to be cold. And if you think tonight's 29 is cold, wait until you hear about Christmas. That's when, ironically, it's kind of funny, isn't it? We get the coldest air of the season